Hello, I'm Peter Comaeu, Director of Acoustic Design for IAG Group. I design all the loudspeakers for the brands. And one of the questions I frequently get asked is, what is the reason that some speakers have what we call bi-wire terminals on, like the Wharfedale Aura series, which we have here, and why do others only have a single set of terminals, like the Leek LS150? Now, first of all, I should explain how bi-wiring came about and why it was done in the first place. Bi-wiring was originally designed so that you could use two amplifiers. One amplifier would drive the treble section of the speaker, another amplifier would drive the bass section. And the idea of that principle was that the bass amplifier would handle all the heavy current duties which bass units require, leaving the treble amplifier to handle the more delicate signals without having to have its power supply delivering all that current all the time, and therefore could be slightly cleaner and better resolution of high frequencies. But in fact, I've found that very few people over the years have used what we call bi-amping, where we use one amplifier to drive the treble section and one amplifier to drive the bass section. Instead, most people are a little bit confused as to what they should be doing with these terminals. We provide links if you want to just run one set of cables to them so that you don't have to use two sets of cables. But there is actually a very small improvement if you do run two sets of cables. The reason is that we should be talking about what we would otherwise know in an amplifier as ground loops. A ground loop is when you have the signal running in a slightly different path to the ground section. Now, what we can do with bi-wiring is inside the speaker, and we have to engineer this very carefully. Inside the speaker, we separate the crossover into a treble section and a bass section. And if we keep those signal paths within those two sections precise, then we can take them to each set of terminals and back to the amplifier without any grounding problems. It's really a very, very clean way of supplying the signal to the drive units without that. And most amplifiers, of course, take into account star grounding within the amplifier. So we are, in essence, star grounding the crossover right back to the amplifier. Now, the improvements that gives are very small. Some people say it makes a difference. Other people say they can't hear the difference. The problem is that if you're spending money on speaker cables, should you spend the most of your budget on an expensive cable, or should you split your budget in buying cheaper cables and doubling up? That's a question I can't answer. But for a lot of loudspeakers, we can achieve very good performance from using the best loudspeaker cables. So what we tend to do on like our Heritage series speakers, like the Leek speakers and the Wharfedale Heritage series, is stick to one set of terminals, and we encourage you to buy the absolute best speaker cable that you can afford with one single run, and that gives the best benefits.